We good?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, and excited to get back going this week. Tuesday's always a heavy work day for us, and man, we got a lot of work to do this week with this group, especially with a little less time to prepare, early kickoff. But I'll just tell you right out of the gate, this is a very, very good football team that we're getting ready to play. And if anybody says anything different, then you have absolutely no clue what you were talking about. I just cannot say that enough to everybody in this room. This is a very experienced, well-coached, disciplined, tough football team. We have not played a single team, and we probably won't play another team that plays as hard as this Wake Forest football team we're getting ready to play. So if there's any inclination that people like to create that this team right here is not a legit contender for our division, you have no idea what you're talking about. All right, so let me just set the tempo for the meeting right there. All right, this is a dadgum good Wake Forest team we're getting ready to play, and it is impressive to watch them on tape. They're a hangnail away from beating Florida State last week, and I think everybody in here, if we were playing Florida State this week and their name, we'd have a different mindset from some of the people on the outside of this program. We all know the type of athletes that Florida State has, and we know the type of coaches they have. And this is a team, if not for a big kick return, they probably win the game. And so I cannot tell you how impressed I am watching these guys on tape. I have a great appreciation for teams when I watch them and I see buy-in, and I see heart, and I see passion, and I see toughness, and I see really, really good coaching. And all of those things are on display when you watch these tapes with Wake Forest. I think this is year 4 for Coach Clausen, and man, he's done a heck of a job. They got a football team that believes. They got a football team that's very precise in what they do. They know what they're doing. Incredibly well coached, but what I love more than anything is you can see the buy-in from the players. They know who they are, how they want to do things, and this is an experienced team as we're going to play. I think they got 10 starters back on defense and 9 back on offense, led by a quarterback that is a winner. Man, this guy is tough. He's very similar to last week as far as kind of the presentations and style of play, but this guy's a senior, and he is very accurate. He's smart. He's just a great leader for them, and they play tough up front. They've got a great scheme, so we're going to be challenged, and we got to play well. And then the flip side, this defense, 10 guys back that started. They know what they're doing. They really create some problems with their style of play. They're good tacklers. This is an outstanding secondary. They've got more depth than Virginia Tech up front, way more depth. This is a very talented defensive line, and these two safeties are, I think, special players. So the corners do a great job with their technique. And so you have to out-execute these guys. They're not going to make many mistakes. They're not going to be out of position very often. You have to out-execute these guys. If you don't match their precision and the intensity that they play with, this is a team that'll beat you. And that's just this biggest game of the year. Simple as that. They got an excellent returner. Little number 89 is a water bug running around out there. He's hard to get a hold of. Also leads them in receptions. So it's going to be a battle this weekend, and absolutely the biggest game of the year. And what I'm looking for in our team is maturity. I'm looking for a team that will match that intensity, match that precision, match that discipline and heart, because that's what it's going to take. This is a Wake Forest team that's going to win a bunch of games this year. Just mark it down. If they stay healthy, they're going to win a bunch of games. They're going to be a tough out for everybody. So just very impressed with this team and how they play, how they complement each other. And They lead the nation right now in tackles for loss. So I think they had 17 tackles for loss against Florida State. That's incredible. So just great energy, great toughness, and I just want to make sure everybody understands the type of team that's rolling in here this week. And, we need to wake up and show up and be ready to go. And that's the football team, that's our fans, that's Tiger Walk, that's everything. That's our students. We need a national championship environment this weekend. And anything less than that, then we're not putting our best foot forward. And that's what it takes every single week, is to put your best foot forward. Preparation and consistency in performance. So that's what I'm looking for this week. And I hope that we're going to have an awesome homecoming crowd. I look forward to that. Our former players coming back to lead the Tiger Walk. That's always fun for me to see a bunch of them old guys in front of the Tiger Walk leading us into the stadium. So looking forward to a great week. It's exciting on campus to see all the stuff going on and the energy from our students and the floats and the Central Spirit and everything that goes into this week. And I appreciate all the effort that everybody puts in to making this a special week. But excited about this ball game. It's going to be a good one.
Does their defense present some of the same problems that you saw with Auburn and Virginia Tech?
Absolutely. They're really good up front. It's schematically different than Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech kind of is its own animal, but similar to Auburn. They have the type of depth that Auburn had up front. I mean, they got 2 and 3 deep of guys that can play and look the part. Very athletic. They're very disciplined at linebacker. They play where they're supposed to be, and then they're a secondary that's very, very experienced. That number 3 they got is a ball hawk. Gets his hands on balls, plays the ball well in the air. He's a very smart, instinctive player. I mean, they got a good group, really good group. And this, again, this is year 4. What was it, 19 starters back out of 22, a bunch of seniors and juniors and redshirt sophomores, and just a well-coached football team. They've done a heck of a job, man. Dave is coming off of a bowl season, and I think they won their bowl game. Didn't they win their bowl game? Coming off a bowl win, I mean, this is a different mindset, and you can see it when you really study these guys. Done a great job.
Wake averages about 15 per punt return. You talked about the water bug. How can Clemson neutralize this?
Well, we got to get out on the field. Well, it starts with the punt. We can't line drive a punt. That's first and foremost. And Will has been awesome. He's had an awesome practice last night. But we got to have a consistent punt to allow our guys opportunity to get down the field. And then we got to run. We got to use our speed. We got guys that just like you saw the other night in the game. I mean, I think it was Cornell and Ryan Carter on that first long punt that we had. I think it was over 50-yard punt, and them guys were smoking. Ended up getting a block in the back on Ryan, but because of their, where they were and how they stacked the defender, we created great field position. So. We've done a good job with that, but it starts with a consistent punt.
Coach, can we get an update on Justin Foster's ankle, and is Marcus Edmond about 100%?
Marcus is a lot better. No, he's not 100%. So, my hope is, if not next week, definitely the open date for sure. Getting him back and hopefully having a great second half of the season with Marcus. Again, a midfoot sprain is. It's just when you play that position, especially, that's what you do is plant and cut, with your foot, with your feet. And Justin, we'll reevaluate him today. But the tests were good, the X-rays were good, so just a matter of how he progresses.
Did you say maturity? If your team listens to all of the outside voices, they're already in the playoff against Alabama. Is that recognizing that the biggest opponent is this week and not overlooking anything?
Yeah, absolutely. You go get beat this week, they won't be talking about that anymore. I promise you that. It's just a mindset. You've got can't worry about who you're playing, the ranking of the team, what time you play. Just like when you go on the road and you're playing a ranked team and it's a maroon out and they got an unbelievable entrance. Who cares? You know, when the ball's kicked off, it's blocking and tackling and throwing and catching. It's intensity, it's toughness, it's execution, it's the will to win. And you got to bring that every single week. And our team has shown great maturity through 5 games. But 5 games don't make a season. You know, this is just bringing that mindset of biggest game of the year. And again, like I said to our team, if we were playing whoever in Atlanta for the national championship this week, how would you prepare? How much film would you watch? How much sleep would you get? And if that's not your mindset, then you're not putting your best foot forward. Same with us as coaches. So, you know, I'm looking for a biggest game of the year intensity and mindset every single week, you know, because we're at that point now where you start to get into that grind a little bit. And, you know, there's a quote that says success, I don't even know who said it, success is not final and failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts. You know, they know what it takes. Do you have the courage to continue to do what it takes? That's what maturity is. You know, and even last year's team, hey, we had success. That's great. Hey, and then we had a little failure as well. And that wasn't fatal unless you let it be, right? It's the courage to continue. And this team is on a good path, but you got the courage and the maturity to continue to do what it takes, to stay focused, to stay disciplined, to continue to prepare and practice the right way, to bring the right mindset week in and week out. That's what I'm talking about.
Mark is listed as starter at cornerback. Is that more of a product of you guys still easing Trayvon back in, or did he showing up against Virginia Tech during that starting spot?
You know, those guys, I don't pay any attention to who starts out there, to be honest with you. I really don't. Whoever Mike wants to run out there on game day, it's fine with me. Because, you know, and I don't know what they list out, and that's just kind of how we were in the game last week. I wouldn't pay any attention to depth charts when they come out Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I really wouldn't. And sometimes it's game decisions all the way to warm-ups. I never knew who Dan Brooks was going to start. He would sometimes he'd go all the way to pregame warm-ups. And then he'd say, "You starting." And the guys just say, "Okay." And, you know, because I love that about him. Everything mattered. Everything mattered. He didn't want it because it was close with guys, and he didn't want to name a starter because you had pregame meals, you had meetings, you had hotel behavior, you got everything. Everything mattered. And so it's the same way at that position. We got cats that can play. So, you know, Trayvon has done an awesome job for us, but there's no entitlement. Nobody's just entitled to go start. You know, you got to practice well. So I wouldn't look at no depth chart on Monday. We got to practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we'll make some decisions at some positions. There's just, you know, I can tell you Mitch Hyatt's going to start at left tackle for us. I'll tell you that today. Unless something happens, but we got a few positions that every week, man, it's just very competitive. And corner's one of them.
How have you seen Wake's program improve under Clawson from when he got there to where it is now?
What's that? Oh, I thought you said obviously it's improved. Oh man, well I just think he's recruiting number one. I think he's really done a good job of articulating his vision for the program, who they are, how they're going to do things, and they've just stuck to that. They know who they're trying to evaluate and recruit. They're looking for a certain fit to their program, and they've done a great job in evaluating guys, and done a great job in selling their program. I think that's where it starts as a head coach. He's got a good staff around him, a very well coached football team. But you know, I'm not there every day, but I can watch their players, and I can tell that they have bought into the philosophy of the program, and you know, it's easy to see that. You know, they weren't very good the first year or two, and then made a nice jump last year. And again, just takes a little while to kind of, if you're doing it the right way, which I think he's doing it exactly the right way. I think he loves the players, and I think that's another reason why those guys play so hard. It's all of that, and being just consistent. I think they've redshirted, a fair share of guys that have stayed in the program and have matured, and just have continued to create a culture of belief, that they can compete and win. He's done a great job with that, and that's what you see when you watch them play. They think they can win. So that's where it starts, because if you don't think you can win, and you're not. So he's created a great culture from that standpoint.
Xavier Kelly and Albert Huggins got to play a bunch on Saturday night. What was your assessment of how those guys played?
Well, Xavier had his best game. He didn't quite grade a winner for us. We have a target grade at every position that we consider winning football, but he just missed it. I think he was 2 percentage points away from grading the winner, which is by far his best game. And then Huggins played well last week. Didn't play quite as well from a grade standpoint this week. Really just more technique stuff, but I thought his effort was awesome. He's a disruptive guy. Huggy's got a lot of talent, but he's got to continue to improve from a technique standpoint. It all matters, It all matters, and so some of his minuses were he was in where he was supposed to. He didn't hardly have any mental errors. I think he might have had one, but just some technique things that he needs to clean up to improve his play. But he was good.
Wade's passing game has dramatically improved. What have you seen on tape that explains that?
Quarterback's accurate. He's a senior. He's played a lot of football. Again, they're well coached. They know how to attack your weaknesses and how to scheme up some of those things. But I can't say enough about the quarterback. I mean, just the guy he's not that tall, but he doesn't get a lot of balls batted down. I mean, he's got a high release, and he's an accurate thrower, and he can extend plays. He's scramble around, and he's next thing you know, he's found a little hole to wiggle through, and he's 10, 15 yards down the field on you in a heartbeat. Just a tough, smart football player.
With all the horizontal stuff going on in offensive football now, and having defensive ends who are long, fast, versatile, like Austin and Cleveland, is that kind of a prototype for defending a lot of stuff?
Yeah, in college football for sure. I mean, you can't just, you don't see much just I formation where you're just setting the edge and spilling things on the power and stuff like that. There's a lot going on. A lot of these guys, nobody even blocks them. There's a lot of times nobody blocks the end. You block the end through misdirection. You block the end through play action. You block the end through quarterback's eyes. And I mean, you see it in pro football now. I mean, you saw it last night in the Kansas City game. I mean, they don't even block them. They just read them. So it's more and more up in the pro football now. But yeah, you got to have, because there's a lot that goes into it. As far as your technique, your footwork, where your shoulders need to be, how you need to squeeze the air out when tackle's down. I mean, there's a lot going into it, and you can't just have one pitch. Because they're gonna hit one pitch. You got to have a lot of pitches. So you got to change it up, and you see that with us a lot. And our guys do a lot of things. Sometimes we're mesh charging. Sometimes we're up the field. Sometimes we're dropping. We do a lot of different things with those guys. So there's a lot of technique at that end position. A ton of technique. It's a very difficult position. A little bit like our tight end position. There's a lot that goes in to the tight end position and the defensive end position in college football, and all the diversity that you see from a style of play standpoint.